Welcome to Wine and
Cheese
with Jeff Weisler and
Beverly McKenzie.
good to see you.
Oh, glad to be here.
Cheers. So today
Yeah, what we got going on here?
we have Gurgitch Hills Fumé Blanc. Gurgitch Hills is an awesome winery, one of my favorite conscious wineries. They really got their feet going, got things going in the 1970s. Mike Gurgitch from Croatia brought a really interesting style. He was the winemaker at Chateau Montelena, made the 1973 Chardonnay that won a big award in 1976 in Paris and helped put California on the map. The 1982 Gurgitch Chardonnay, along with the 1982 Chalon Chardonnay, were two of the wines that I had tasted they were about 6 or 7 years old at the time I tasted them. Those two wines showed me what was possible in American white wine and really drew me in to be interested in American wine. This winery is part of that essence, that story for me. Today they farm biodynamically. 100% of their fruit is estate grown.
Yeah, estate grown.
They do not add any yeast, so all the wines are made in a very, very natural way that supports unique expressions in the wine. The wines open up beautifully. Fumé Blanc is 100% Sauvignon Blanc. It's based on the wines from a region in France called Puy-Fumé, where it's 100% Sauvignon Blanc, and there tends to be a smoky quality in those wines. So we'll see if there's a smoky quality in this wine as we taste it.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be barrel aged, because that's something I have to demystify with people myself. I find when people ask me, well, Fumé, does that mean it's barrel aged? And it doesn't. So Fumé Blanc and Sauvignon Blanc are synonymous, but it's giving a nod to Puy-Fumé.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Stylistically.
So from a smoky perspective, let's taste the wine and see what's there.
All right. I get flintiness without being too stony.
I get that it really comes up in a beautiful, aggressive, slightly assertive, slightly spicy way.
Spicy's good.
That kind of gets things tantalizing, gets things going.
Are both swishing, but delightful kind of kumquat pink grapefruit fruit without being too lemony or too harsh acid. Sweeter citrus.
Super juicy.
Yeah, definitely.
Wonderfully juicy. So one of the things I really want to say is that, we use wine words sometimes, descriptors, whether it's kumquat or cranberry or whatever. Don't worry about it. You experience what you experience.
You might just taste citrus, which is it's accurate.
The feel, the way it makes you feel, what it inspires when you allow yourself to smell and taste a wine, what it inspires is really what we're talking about here. And from a wine and food perspective, I think one of the big things is really noticing the personality of this, but knowing that this is actually made, or thinking that this is actually made to go with food. So when we pair it with something else, how does it change it? One of the things about this wine that stands out for me is the juiciness. It leaves my mouth totally watering. So from that perspective, it's asking for something else. I'm ready now for food. So in wine and food pairing, some of the things we look for, like goes with like, opposites attract, and we match the weight. So this is a mid-weight white wine.
Yeah.
So we're looking for a mid-weight food, or in this case, cheese to go with it. This really nice juicy acidity, one of the things about Chevre or goat cheese is that it tends to have really nice acidity. So there's an opportunity here to match the acidity, and we'll see what happens when we taste it.
We also have a regional pairing here, too, because you made a nod to the Puy-Fumé, and they make a lot of goat cheese in Chevre in the Loire Valley in France.
Yeah.
And we also kind of played with the whole smoke thing. So we found this goat cheese from River's Edge Farm. They're in the Oregon Coastal Range, as we mentioned. But they make this one fresh goat cheese called Up in Smoke. And they do a few things with this wine to make it special.
With the cheese.
They smoke the Chevre, so the cheese itself is smoked. Then they wrap it, this little baby tome, they wrap this in maple leaves that have also been cold smoked. So when you just open this up, it just looks gorgeous. You have this big giant maple leaf. But what they also did, Jeff, which I learned recently, they spritz the smoked maple leaf with bourbon to give it this rounder barrel toast smoke. But that's exteriorly, and then you have the cheese. So perhaps we should see if they've executed what they've described.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I mean, just by unpeeling this aroma of sweet smoke and lactic, cheese creaminess is what I smell here. Almost like a smoky creme brulee is what I can smell from over here. Ooh.
the herby smokiness comes out for me. So there's this beautiful herbiness, and herbal qualities will often be associated with Sauvignon Blanc. So that's a parallel that might work well here. Interesting how the smokiness kind of plays in that, and the maple leaf actually.
Yeah.
So really interesting. So there's also definitely a noticeable element in the acidity. So it'll be interesting to see how it is coming back to the wine.
Yeah. What it'll do to the wine in the acid in the wine. My aroma's different now. I'm getting more brighter citrus now.
Total different.
Yeah.
It actually the pineapple or tropical quality really got accentuated.
Yeah.
So more of the fun fruit flavor in this
Yeah, it's perky
really
now.
came out right. So the citrus edge, but particularly this pineapple or tropical, other tropical fruits too, really got much more energy, much more emphasis. The acidity toned down. It's still really present.
Yeah.
And the good thing about it really being present, and now is it's making me want more cheese, which will
Yeah.
probably make me want more wine, and go back and forth and back and forth. You've got to exercise those muscles, you know. So, you know, it's great how the dynamic, just that little dynamic, what it did is, I'm in the mode now where one is making me now want the other. So I could see the momentum that could get...
Regardless of which one you're at.
That could get created out of this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Totally.
Probably want to make sure that I'm somewhere where I can really relax when I have Gurgit Hills Fumet Blanc and this Chevre, because I could very well eat and
They're
drink a
delightful
lot.
together. I'm not sure if I originally would have thought that a smoked goat cheese would have gone with a white wine, because normally when you think smoke, you think heavy, could overpower, but because there's such great depth and integrity in those Gurgit Fumet, you can totally pair with it.
Well, cheers to how foods and flavors are altering our experience of a wine.
Amen.
Cheers.